4 streamers, same brand, same operating system, and yet picking the wrong one for your system is one of the easiest and most expensive mistakes you can make in this hobby. Matrix Audio's streamer lineup looks similar on the surface, but underneath, these are completely different machines built for completely different listeners. It's the question we get more than almost anything else right now, and the answer is never one size fits all. The features that make the NT1 exceptional are entirely irrelevant if your system calls for the TS1, and the MS1 isn't competing with any of them. Buy the wrong one and you're paying for engineering your system will never use, while missing the one feature that would have actually made a difference. We're looking at 4 products today: the TS1 streaming music server, DAC and headphone amplifier, the TT1 streaming music server, the NT1 streaming music server, and the MS1 music streamer. The TS1 is an all-in-one streamer, DAC, and headphone amp. The TT1 and NT1 are dedicated streaming transports. That means no internal DAC, and they're designed to pair with your existing gear. And the MS1 is a streamer and DAC, with the MS1 Pre variant adding full preamplifier functionality on top of that. All 4 share the same ARM computing core and hifi OS, so streaming service support, library browsing, and room compatibility are consistent across the lineup. Where they differ significantly though is power supply architecture, connectivity, and who each unit was actually built for. These are premium components ranging from an approachable entry into serious hi-fi all the way up to full flagship territory, which is exactly why we're walking you through each one carefully before you make a decision. And if none of these feel quite right for where you're at right now, I have an honorable mention at the end that might be exactly what you're looking for. So let's get into it. Starting with the TS1, this is your all-in-one solution: streamer, DAC, and headphone amplifier, all right here in a single chassis. It's designed specifically for headphone listeners and active speaker users who want that single high-end quality component that handles everything. It's a successor to the Element M2 and Element i2, and it punches well above what you'd expect from an all-in-one unit at this level. The headphone amplifier is fully balanced with a 1 ohm output impedance, which means it handles everything from sensitive IEMs to full-size high-impedance headphones with ease. It also accepts a wide range of inputs, so whether you're streaming, watching TV, or sitting at a desktop, the TS1 can be the hub of your entire listening experience. Wi-Fi 6 is on board, there's room for up to 8 terabytes of internal SSD storage, and a DC input leaves room for a future linear power supply upgrade. If you're listening primarily through headphones or active speakers, and you want a single component that does the job properly, well then this is the one. Now for the TT1, a dedicated streaming transport. With no internal DAC or analog outputs, it's a great starting point if you already own an external DAC and you're ready to take your streaming seriously. It connects via Ethernet or Wi-Fi 6, supports Tidal, Qobuz, Roon, AirPlay 2, and more, and it handles local music files from a NAS or USB drive, and it also has 8 terabytes of internal SSD storage available. And while it ships with a switching power supply, what I find genuinely useful is the DC input. If you decide to add an external linear power supply down the road, you can. It's a unit that rewards you now, but it leaves the door open for future improvements. What it doesn't have is an external clock input or electrical isolation on its outputs, so if those features are on your radar, you're going to want to keep watching. For listeners who want a clean, capable digital source without constant tweaking, but also want the option to be able to do so down the line, then the TT1 is a straightforward choice. Okay, now this is where things get interesting. The NT1 is a step above the TT1. It's also a dedicated streaming transport, no built-in DAC, but where the TT1 leaves room to grow, the NT1 arrives fully realized. It's got a complete internal linear power supply, fiber optic network input for galvanic isolation from the rest of your network, and electrical isolation on both the USB DAC output and I2S outputs. So whatever DAC you pair with it, it is going to be receiving the cleanest signal possible. It's also worth noting that the NT1 is Ethernet and fiber only, so that means no Wi-Fi, and that's a deliberate call here. Wi-Fi can introduce radio frequency interference that has no place in the signal chain at this level, so Matrix Audio made the right decision by leaving that out entirely. You also get an external clock input, and when it's paired with the Matrix SC1 clock, it pushes the system even further. So if you have that high quality external DAC and you want to feed it the best digital signal available, the NT1 is the answer. The MS1 isn't an upgrade from any other units on this list. it sits in a completely different category. It's a reference-grade streamer and DAC built to replace multiple components in a Sirius 2-channel system. The DAC section runs dual AKM 4191 and 4499 chips working in parallel and mono mode, which is the same flagship pairing found in some of the most respected dedicated DACs on the market. The power you get comes from 2 independent toroidal transformers. It's got fiber optic network input, external clock compatibility, and a full suite of analog input and output connectivity options. Now, if you have a pair of active speakers that need driving and no amplifier to do it, the MS1 Pre is worth knowing about. It builds on everything the MS1 offers and adds a built-in preamplifier and full analog volume control. You're getting the same reference-grade foundation, but with the added functionality. If you're building a Sirius 2-channel system and you want one component to anchor it all down, your DAC, your streamer, all in a single beautifully engineered box, then the MS1 is what you need, or if you need that preamp functionality, check out the MS1 Pre. We just covered the 4 main streamers, but before we wrap this up, there's one more Matrix Audio product that's worth mentioning, especially if the 4 that we just talked about feel like more than you need right now. The Mini iPro 4 is a small desktop streaming DAC and headphone amplifier that packs a lot into its tiny footprint. It runs the same MA player ecosystem, supports Roon, AirPlay 2, Tidal, Qobuz, DLNA, and Spotify Connect, and it features both single-ended and balanced outputs for headphones and IEMs. The whole thing is controlled via the MA Remote app or the 3.5-inch touchscreen right there on the unit itself. It's uncomplicated and easy to use, making it the perfect entry point for audiophiles who are either starting out or you're just simply seeking simplicity. If you want a capable, compact, all-in-one unit for a desktop setup without committing to the footprint or investment of the main lineup, then the Mini iPro 4 is well worth a look. Now, with 5 units under your belt, let's put it plainly and recap this, because the decision really does come down to one question here. What does your system actually need? The TS1 is an all-in-one: streamer, DAC, and headphone amplifier in a single chassis with an extensive input option for TV, PC, and analog sources. It's best for headphone listeners and active speaker users who want a complete, capable system without a stack of components. The TT1 is your entry point into a dedicated streaming transport: dual femtosecond clocks, Wi-Fi 6, and DC input that leaves room to grow. Best for listeners with a mid-range external DAC who want to upgrade their source without overcomplicating things. The NT1 is for the serious audiophile: a fully linear powered transport with fiber network input, electrical isolation on every output, and external clock capability. Best for anyone who already invested in that high-end DAC and you want a transport that pairs perfectly with it. And the MS1? Well, that's the reference statement. Flagship DAC chipset, dual independent linear power supplies, a full suite of input and outputs, and if you're looking for that preamplifier functionality, well then you should get the MS1 Pre. Whether you decide on the MS1 or MS1 Pre, both of these units are great for building a Sirius 2-channel system around that single component. At the end of the day, the right Matrix Audio streamer is the one that's built for the system that you actually have, not the one with the longest spec sheet. The TS1 is for the headphone and active speaker listener who wants everything handled in one place. The TT1 and NT1 are for listeners pairing with an external DAC. One is your starting point, one takes you as far as the format will go. And the MS1 or MS1 Pre is for the listener ready to build a reference-grade 2-channel system around a single component. Know your system, your needs, and what you want, and the choice becomes crystal clear. If the MS1 is on your radar, I've got the perfect next video right here for you to check out. We did a full deep dive on the MS1, MS1 Pre, and even shouted out some other Matrix Audio products that pair with it. It's on the screen right now. That's your next watch. Check it out, and we'll catch you right here for another video.